together by Momoto, who are now Narrative. Very lucky to have Priscilla here from Narrative. Narrative is a startup was founded in 2012. They make lifelogging cameras, of which I am a Kickstarter backer. And I'm expecting mine on November 2nd, come hell or high water. And if it's not here, I will be extremely disappointed. With that, I shall pass you over to Priscilla, who's going to tell us a little bit more about Narrative.
Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the little documentary. And how many of you have actually heard of the term lifelogging before watching the movie? Okay, good. So, for those of you who are not too familiar with, just a brief recap, lifelogging is basically the record of the everyday life produced by a portable device carried around every day. So, I'm Priscilla and I'm from the community team of Narrative, the people behind the movie you just saw. And, okay, I'd just like to ask a question. How many of you actually feel that time passes us by too quickly in our daily lives? Raise your hand. Yeah, okay. For me as well, I mean, I'm still a student and I'm probably shielded from a lot of the adult real life issues that you guys are facing, but I do feel that time passes by me too quickly as well. And I mean, I oftentimes want to spend more time with my family, with my parents, because they are really old already. But the workaholic side of me actually just takes control, and it oftentimes puts priority over the relationships that I have. And I think especially for all of us in hectic Singapore, well, I guess many of us do feel that time spent with our loved ones is even more precious than it already is. And this was actually how Narrative was started as well, because our CEO, Martin, he actually lost both his parents to cancer at a very young age. And that was when he realized that he really wanted to record moments that were spent together with his family and that went unrecorded into the caves and stuff. Yeah. So together with his team, he actually began asking people what they wanted in a lifelogging device. And in the second column, these were actually some of the responses that they got. And people actually wanted a smart, light, beautiful, and innovative memory makeup. So when he put this question back to him and his friends, they came up with company values such as meaningful. They wanted to create something that was meaningful, reliable, intelligent, effortless, and creative. So with this, they actually started asking their friends to create a prototype of the lifelogging device. And so they actually launched it on Kickstarter last year. And how many of you actually heard of them on Kickstarter? Okay, you're gonna get your camera soon, but don't ask me for them. Yeah, okay. So this was actually a really huge success because they actually raised more than 11 times of their initial goal. And this really confirmed the fact that people actually really identified with their same vision and they really wanted a lifelogging device for themselves as well. So when I was there in Sweden, I just came back in August, I actually realized how much challenges a startup has to face. So, besides just putting this up into a campaign on Kickstarter, the team actually started discovering more and more challenges as they were developing the product, because this is something that essentially hasn't been done before. And sometime this year, we actually realized that someone told us that we might be infringing on another tech company's trademarks, and that was why we had to institute a name change. But I think for me, I learned that this challenge was in fact actually a blessing in disguise, because it got us to think further what value we wanted to bring as a company to the consumers out there. So with that, we actually came up with more soft values, and we wanted this to be put forth in the name, and we wanted something that was easy to remember, sounds good, and is generic enough, such as trademark friendly. So with that, we came up with Narrative, and we really like it because it brings more context, a deeper sense of context into what we're really doing and what we hope that our products can bring to people like yourselves. So not much else has changed, and we still want our products to help people remember their life stories yourself, to your pets, to your children, to anything. I mean, it's really up to you to set your creative juices free and do it whatever way you want to. And this camera actually automatically takes 2 geotag pictures every minute. And this is hopefully done so that you can continue to live in the present and embrace the moment while recording the things that are happening around yourself. So there's an app that accompanies the narrative clip, and through this app you can actually scroll it through, much like your Instagram. You can scroll it through and can view your moments in the timeline. And basically there's a cloud service that helps you organize your pictures, and so you get to see your most important moments that you encounter in your daily life. Yeah, so it's a really short presentation, and I'll leave you with some contact details, and you can contact me if you have any questions that cannot be answered through this Q&A session. Cloud storage is free for the first year, and then after that it's $9 USD per month, including taxes and it's
recording every day to have a very huge thing.
Yeah. So if you record every day, it's suitable and it's enough storage for you to record every day, and yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Because I'm worrying when I'm recording 1 month, 2 months, I'm thinking about how to keep all of that as much. The already is full already, so
yeah, it's going to be pretty huge, so you don't have to worry about not being able to store.
From a privacy perspective, do people know that you're recording them?
You're not recording them actually. Basically, you are recording yourself. Yeah. So all the images are stored encrypted, and each camera is accompanied by your own personal account that you can access to. So we will not access your photos and your photos are equals. For now. Oh yeah, I forgot. The favorite function of the camera is actually you can double tap on the camera surface to take a additional picture if you want to, on top of the 30 seconds picture that you want.
So you take picture every 30 seconds?
Every 30 seconds, but you can set it, it's a simple setting in the software that you can change. Like if you want to record like 5 seconds, every 5 seconds you can do so as well.
Is that way to turn it off?
Sorry?
Is that way to turn it off?
You just have to put it face down, and in total darkness it will turn off. It will go to sleep mode by itself.
How big is the battery?
It lasts for 2 days. Yeah. So after that, you just have to plug it in, and then you can let it upload your pictures, and then you can charge at the same time.
How do we upload the pictures? Is it an actual cable or?
Yeah, you just connect it to your computer. Yeah.
Can you delete some of your pictures? Or is it lifelogging and you can change?
You can change your life if you want to, I guess, but yeah, you can delete your pictures.
Why delete? Well, you know what?
GPS Maker, the biggest functionality they forgot when they made it was the possibility to delete places you went to. And all these guys would go visit their mistress, and their wife would find out because of the GPS. And I'm thinking exactly the same, you see all.
But you can find out your mistress by where you didn't go just as well. I mean, in that not really, but I think it's not a mistake to delete.
I think you should delete sometime, yeah.
No. Wait, okay, no, let me follow the logic here.
Hold on, we have a couple of questions over here, but then let's come back to the discussion.
Sometimes that someone can do like to tell you something, that someone might have to tell you like you speak that they report.
Yeah, in the first version of the camera, it's voice recording is not allowed, but we are thinking of improving because we actually have this portal where people actually suggest their ideas of what they want in the camera, and a lot of people have wanted video function, voice recording, because it is very important in live logging to have these things besides all the GPS, location and everything. So we're looking into that, but for the first version there isn't voice recording.
The one is when sometimes we hear a very good joke, and then we try to remember, and then it's just forgot.
Yeah.
You can never say that again because
Okay.
Any sort of analytics that determine which pictures may be more significant than other pictures?
Yeah, actually in the algorithms in the cloud service. So it actually uses data such as your location, time, lighting, color, a whole array of it to determine which are the most significant events in the timeline.
This is separate, but how did you get involved in narrative with the Swedish?
Oh yeah, I was in Sweden because I'm actually from National University of Singapore. So there's this entrepreneurial program that sends students overseas for a year to work in a startup company, and that's how I got to know them.
And just to that point, we've actually had a couple. Cassandra was working with the eatery, now acquired by Joel.
Massive Health.
Massive Health, yeah. And then we've also had Bjorn, he's another guy that went across with US startups and came back and founded his own thing. So I am a huge fan of the NOC program.
Can you link it, for example, to your calendar or to something,
sorry?
to your calendar or to something like that? So kind of, you can get a link between your pictures and whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I guess after this whole shipment of cameras, we are looking to open API. So basically, we are looking for an infrastructure of app development and everything that can integrate Dropbox, calendar, everything, because it really provides a deeper sense of meaning to your lifelong experience. Basically, okay, it is a very sensitive issue here, right? But we are storing everything encrypted, and really the fact that only you can access your account that is tied to your camera, it's really what makes it seem more comforting, I guess. I mean, at first note, you might think that, oh, this is a stalking camera and all these things, but I mean, as you use it on a more personal basis, it really has more benefits than costs.
Yeah, so sort of going a bit beyond that, if without US government comes and says, give us
When the US government comes in.
yeah, how will you refuse it? Will you refuse?
I mean, personally, I think if the US,
Yeah,
we can,
so many German companies will just shut down the company and say, we don't comply with this. Exactly. So you could of course structure it by
yeah, but I think if the US government does want data, pictures are probably not the first thing they would go for. And I think debatable, of course, debatable, but yeah, I mean,
that's how many of the other companies do it. Just wind it, prefer to wind down rather than
yeah, but there's always a debate of,
happened.
yeah, there's always a debate of, I mean, all of us are on Facebook and everything, and we freely give our data.
Giving it away for free already.
Yeah, so it's not much of a, it's on the same side of the battle kind of thing, I feel.
It is, and it isn't. Facebook allows you to choose what people want to see. Right? It allows
That's
you
what
that.
you think.
But it's still stored for someone else called Prism to look at.
By design, by the way.
You can definitely structure if you didn't always use your mobile. Okay, far more chance of deciding what others would see.
Yeah, but I think it's also interesting in the movie that he saw Steve Mann bringing in the concept of surveillance versus surveillance. And this is really giving people more power from the surveillance perspective as opposed to surveillance that we're so used to in the past. So I think it provides a little bit of outlet.
Yeah, to that point, I think there's a lot of interesting debate about how we flip the script on, ever-present surveillance to, we see now, if you look at Syria, if you look at all the uprisings, everything is on YouTube now, the revolution is being televised every day. This is just another kind of extension of that. What happens when monitoring is ever-present and constant and kind of distributed? It's kind of interesting.
And just to add on,
The Alice Huxley concept versus John Roman concept.
and just to add on, although there's a cloud service, you can also choose local storage. So if you're not too much into the cloud system thingy and worried that your data will be stolen by
Local storage is part of it.
Sorry? Which one? Google storage. Google storage? Google.
That's the thing I realized is you need to look at the content, right?
And how do we get one? And how soon? If I order one today, when will it arrive?
So you can order it on getnarrative.com. So it's retailing at $279 US dollars. And if you order today, I feel like it's a salesperson.
It's alright. It's alright. It's
But
okay.
yeah, if you order it today, you're likely to get it sometime slightly after Christmas. Yeah, because we have to push out all the Kickstarter backers orders and everything.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, this is typically where we wrap it up. But I don't know if anyone wants to spend some time. Steve Tucker would like to spend some time.
We're not
discussing-
ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, no.
This is the quintessential question. Everybody's already giving it away for free. Let's go back to your mistress.
Yes.
How does your wife or mother or daughter feel about your mistress? Is this right or wrong?
Well, my mom is probably alright if she's a nice mistress.
I think you're biased. You won't answer. How many people in the room? This is not your church. This is not your family's house. This is not recorded, as best I know. How many people would say that it is wrong to have a mistress?
Yeah, but that doesn't
No. Let me just extend my hypothesis,
Go ahead.
please. I think we could agree that it is commonly accepted that this is not a positive behavior.
All right.
Certainly not regarded as such. I know your wife may beat you and you've been trying to escape and it's the only respite you get with
This is
this.
a backstory, exactly.
I know. Fine. But if that is the story, then shouldn't you have a narrative so that the world knows that your wife is beating you? Right? So because most of the time, if you're engaging in a behavior that requires you to be deleted, it's not a behavior you're proud of.
Yeah.
And the fact is that how many of us sadly, Priscilla, why did you make me realize I'm the oldest person in the room? So weird, okay? I have kids, and I teach my kids that you behave on the internet the way you behave in public. You don't do anything on the internet that you would not want me to know about later, okay? So your behavior now is tracked everywhere. And there's a hypothesis out there that says the more observation we have, the more surveillance, the more forthright or moral or good we're going to be. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that, but that ubiquitous observation, the ability to delete allows you to lie.
Yes, but you know what? Of course you could be perfect and you could print, but everybody sometimes need to, get a steam off, right? And you can do it in a lot of different ways. By being a mistrust, by taking drugs.
But maybe if it was
something.
globally like this, you wouldn't do it just because you
I
have
don't agree
reason.
with that.
Yeah?
I don't agree with that. Are we defining morality as what is socially acceptable? What
No.
I cannot drive in
No,
somewhere? What do you see about what do you say
I'm
about
not.
that? No. Everything that I do right does not have to be in public. That's a wrong chain of thought.
That's a different topic.
It is not. It's all interconnected.
No, morality is just the way the crowd is judging you. If you say
So
you
why should
love
I-
watching porn,
Why should I be
if
judged
you,
by the crowd?
we let each other speak. If you say that you love watching porn, and I don't care if the world knows that I watch porn, I'm not going to judge somebody for doing that. I'm not going to judge a polygamist in a society that allows
This
polygamy.
society will judge him because his phone record is online. So
But-
he will be judged to be a bad person. And it also depends on what kind of porn he's watching.
But porn is not
Why should I
illegal.
be judged by people?
Porn is not.
Actually, it is.
But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I'm telling you is be
I don't want to be
prepared.
judged by society.
Then you should get offline
What do you mean I should get off on?
because you will be
No, I
judged.
have every right to erase my
You
face.
have every right, but we have every right to also form an opinion about the behaviors of others. I don't have the right to imprison you for those behaviors or to harm you for those
So the US
behaviors.
government might say that, hey, we have every right to monitor every one of you because we are the big daddy.
No. But Priscilla is not the government.
The government has its own argument, doesn't it?
I'm not talking about the
Government is saying,
government.
Singapore government, for
So
example.
let me,
US
so
government is
let's,
saying,
my friend, this is all hypothetical.
No, it's
And
not.
that's exactly the point, because it isn't. And the ideas are not fresh in my head. I'm not so smart. I read a very average book with a very provocative idea. Who knows what I read? Please, someone. Okay, now we have reading assignment. Now we have book club for the next QS. The book is called The Circle. Okay, Priscilla, you know it? So Dave Eggers, 41-year-old writer, wrote a staggering work of genius or something like that a few years ago. Very well-known writer, very good young writer, fabulous backstory, so sad. Both of his parents died when he's 18. He raises his 8-year-old brother. He's an amazing guy, and he's written this book called The Circle, which is this fictional creation of an amalgam of Google and Apple and Facebook all together, and it leads you down a path of ubiquitous surveillance for the greater good. It's creepy. It's not the best book ever, but the idea is profoundly changing. I don't like it. There are people, but it becomes a mass, thinking where everyone, you should read the book because it is a frightening potential outcome for where this goes, depending upon where you stand on how much you want to know of other people and how much others will know.
Very slippery slope, my friend. Slippery.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement on
Like,
that.
for example, in countries like, for example, Egypt or Saudi Arabia, you take places like even Pakistan, for example, that's about 50% of the world. I mean, you may have another
More than that.
But for example, if they were to give up their religion, they're punishable by that. Somebody might maybe
That's
have the right
absolutely
choice, but
That's
have to do
right.
the secret.
I think the issue I have with the proposition that you've come up with is that you're looking at almost a universality which simply doesn't exist.
Not yet.
It won't.
Not yet. But almost everyone on the planet has a cell phone.
Yeah, but not everybody has the technology to really
Not-
help you with it.
Not yet. I'm just saying. You know what? I'm not, guys. I'm not.
You said we could finish what you said. That was what you said, right?
I'm sorry.
You want to finish, make this
Yeah,
point
please.
before you
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah, so the point is, if you suggested a book, I might suggest a older book called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, now Huxley's vision of the world was different from George Orwell's vision of the world. When he looked at, 1984, there's Big Brother who's looking over everyone. Huxley was, and Big Brother controls information, so there's books you can't read, etc., etc. Huxley's vision was different. You'd actually put in so much information, so much useless information, that people are just going to be too busy taking it all in, and the important stuff would be missed out. So I'm just going to give a props. How many people here have in the last month, read about the sewage, the Atlantic sewage thing? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The Atlantic garbage patch. You should, all of us should know it, but I'm just asking, the last month, do you all read about it?
The what?
Right,
Maybe
so
if I
garbage
photo-
patch, that's 3 times the size of the USA in the Pacific Ocean. There's a similar patch that's in the Indian Ocean, not as big. Basically, it's a soup of garbage. You can't really get too many pictures of it because it's sort of just below the surface. So you see, if you're on it, you'll see it. Ships don't tend to pay attention to see at that level, but if you're actually a sailor, you will be dodging your sailboat throughout. Now this is a catastrophe, right? I read in the last week about the sailor who did this ocean thing from Australia to Japan, and he'd done the same trip 10 years ago, and he was fishing throughout, so he'd catch a fish a day, and 10 years later, he didn't catch a single fish. And he was dodging he had to dodge the garbage bits almost constantly the closer he got to Japan. Now again, this is a catastrophe. Yet we want to navel gaze ourselves, we want to look at ourselves deeper and longer. Yet something as phenomenally important as that is not even in our collective consciousness. We're not thinking about it every day because we care about yesterday and we think the world's going to be a better place if we document our lives enough. I'm sure that is sound, but my concern is that there are huge issues that are outside our sphere of consciousness, just outside, and we're missing it. And I'm with you that there is huge potential manipulation. You could easily get an environmentalist, and that's what they did with, they put this guy on rape charges. We don't even know if they're true, but there you got it. You want to get rid of someone? Come up with one little piece of information that doesn't quite fit this narrative of this eco-warrior. You get rid of him like that.
Yeah.
That worries me. I just don't see that changing in the next 10 or 20 years. I mean, unless you have rules that all of us agree to, I don't see it changing.
Sorry.
That's the slippery slope. I mean, and the question is
And with that, let me jump in.
Yeah.
And I think we could do this for a long time. And maybe when we have a couple more glasses of wine, we can continue to do so.